Well, the sport of boxing has lost a heavyweight legend in George Foreman, who passed away in the early hours of this morning at the age of 76. George Foreman, known as Big George in the ring, had one of the most remarkable careers in the sport, winning an Olympic gold medal back in 1968 and then claiming the world heavyweight title twice, 21 years apart, and the second one making him the oldest champion in history at the age of 45. And to talk to us about the boxing legend, we've roped in boxing analyst and renowned commentator Peter Leopang. And there he is, joining us on SABC News. Good evening, Peter Leopang, and thank you for speaking to us.
Hola. Tabis, how are you, my man?
No, we are good, thanks. We've seen tributes coming in from around the world here. It shows the stature of this man that the boxing world has lost. What made him such a great champion?
Well, look, he was bigger than boxing, this man. You know, he always says Muhammad Ali was bigger than boxing, and he's right. But he was also one of those boxers that was bigger than boxing. You know, he won the Olympic gold medal, as you mentioned, in 1968 in Mexico, and then came back 4 years later. He fought Joe Frazier, who was the world champion at the time, undefeated. Joe Frazier was undefeated. And he stopped Joe Frazier in 2 rounds. You know, it was a shock that, you know, what this man did. And then after that, remember, Joe Frazier had beaten Muhammad Ali before. So people thought that, you know, it was a given that when Muhammad Ali challenged him for the heavyweight championship of the world in 1974 in Zaire, that he was going to win. He was going to kill Muhammad Ali. You know, he was going to kill Muhammad Ali. And yeah, we know what happened in the rumble in the jungle. So yeah, who can forget that fight?
And why is that? Why so many years later people still speak about Rumble in the Jungle? Because it seems to have made such a huge impact, not only in the continent, but just around the world.
Because, you know, as I said, you're talking about 2 men who were larger than boxing. You know, Muhammad Ali and Big George Foreman. And when that fight happened, I mean, the whole world almost stopped, you know, to watch that fight. Muhammad Ali challenging George Foreman, because Ali said, I'm going to win that fight and I'm going to stop this man in 8 rounds. And Foreman was so young, much younger than Muhammad Ali. He had a record of 40 fights, 40 wins, about 30-something knockouts. So it was a scary thought about for Muhammad Ali. People were thinking that Muhammad Ali is going to get killed in that ring by this young man. And yes, in the 8th round, Ali stopped George Foreman, you know, to win the heavyweight championship for the second time. It was the first time that any boxer regained the heavyweight championship. So yes, people will still be talking about it even today. You know what actually happened in that fight. How did George Foreman lose? You know,
and the rope-a-dope tactics of Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. Rope-a-dope, and George Foreman says it himself and says, "Look, Ali went to the ropes and I was the dope." You know, because yes, I was the dope, and that was actually what endeared him, George Foreman, to many boxing fans and everybody else, because he could take the mickey out of himself. He could make fun of himself, and then he said, Ali went to the rope and I was the dope. You know, so he could laugh at himself. And then people suddenly, you know, loved George Foreman, and then they warmed up to him. And then later on, as you know, that, you know, he endorsed that grill, you know, George Foreman grill, and made millions, hundreds of millions out of that venture.
I was about to go there, because apparently he made more money from the George Foreman grill than what he made in boxing. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. He made more money now with that grill than in the boxing ring. You know, but I think what we should mention is the fact that he couldn't have done that grill thing and made such a lot of money if it wasn't for boxing. So boxing is a way for him now, you know, to be able to endorse some of these products and then cream it. Even today, I think apparently now that product is still selling like hotcake.
Yeah, shows you the stature of the man that we're talking about. And how remarkable then was his second world title at the age of 45? Were people writing him off? Was he given a chance of coming back and becoming a world champion at that age?
Well, no, including myself. I wrote him off. I said, absolutely, there's no way that this guy can come back, because he came back after 10 years when he was 38, and then he was fighting some, what we call in boxing, tomato cans. When people were teasing him about that and saying to him, but these guys were fighting, they look like, they've just been from hospital. He says, no. In fact, they look like they've been to ICU. So, he just made fun of himself. And then he got a chance now to fight for the world title against a young Moore. And then people again thinking that now he's taking a chance, he's 45. No man has ever won a world title above the age of 40. Here's a man at 45 now challenging for a world title. What happened? Knocked out a Moore in I think in the 10th round, and then came a two-time heavyweight champion of the world.
Unbelievable. May his soul rest in peace. What a true champion of our sport. Thank you very much, Peter Leopang, for joining us tonight on Sports Live on SABC.
Thank you very much, Tabiso. Thank you, my man.
Always a pleasure talking to Peter Leopang. And we have